Inversions, barrel rolls, lovelysing. We've got a lot of words for the thing that happens when we isolate our poi and buzzsaw planes, and today I'm going to try and break through the jargon to help you understand why. Drex here from DrexFactor.com, and today we're talking about those curiosities that happen when our arms and poi tangle, and just how much of an impact the arrangement of those tangles can have. Before we dive in, I just want to give a shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow Toys, LMF Props, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all of these amazing companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by following the links down in the description of this video. So first up, we have to clarify one very important thing. When I refer to inversions in this video, I'm not actually referring to them in the sense that they were originally intended for. Way back in the day, a poi spinner called Rev wrote what he called his Sphericalist Manifesto, in which he outlined in great detail his conception of inversions, introversions, and a variety of different poi tricks that made use of these properties. In the years since, the definition of the word inversion has become a lot more blurry and been used in a more generic sense to refer to any tricks in which the hands and poi pass through the buzzsaw plane and cross over each other at least once. That means that there are a huge variety of tricks that we refer to as inversions, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to focus on just 3 because they have a few things in common with each other. The base trick that we're going to start off exploring is something called a barrel roll. It involves tangling the hands and poi in buzzsaw plane. One way you can think of this trick is that it works exactly like a hyperloop, but instead of having the tethers cross, we're going to treat our arms as though they are part of the tether. This means that we wind up rolling our arms in the course of the trick as we go from side to side. In fact, if I were to pull my hands apart as I'm performing this trick, I'd wind up with my poi in either a hyperloop or an orbital. But here's the thing I really want you to pay attention to as I perform this trick. As my arms roll through the trick, there's an interesting difference in how they do so. The hand and poi that initiate the barrel roll pass through it in such a way that the poi head is what leads the way from one side of the body to the other. If we watch the following hand and poi, we find that, in this case, it's the hand leading. Because of this, it's actually quite a challenge to sustain a barrel roll because the lead hand basically has to push the lead poi through it. This makes the trick look pretty lopsided if I try and keep it going, because I can only do this during half of the trick thanks to gravity. So we've got 2 hands and poi working together, and we've just explored a case where one side has the poi leading and the other side has the hand leading. Are there cases where this arrangement shifts? You bet there are. I'm going to change my approach just a little bit now, and instead stall the lead side very briefly before starting the trick. This will make it so that my hand is now leading instead of the poi. Superficially, it looks a lot like the barrel roll, doesn't it? But it's not, and I'll show you why. If I perform this inversion and I try to pull my hands apart, the poi don't tangle at all. This is a different trick entirely. We refer to this trick as lovelysing, named after the person who popularized it. Lovelysing is fun because it's very easy to sustain it for long periods of time. Since our hands are leading on each side, we're totally in control of the momentum and don't have to work terribly hard to keep it going. We're pulling the poi here instead of having to push either one. Once again, remember that the trick here is to stall the lead poi very briefly before crossing your hands over. It may not look like much, but it makes all the difference in the entry. Okay, so now we've explored cases where one side is poi-led and the other is hand-led, as well as where both sides are hand-led. So, are there cases where both sides are poi-led? Yes. But it's really difficult. The entry into this trick is pretty similar to the barrel roll in that the lead side approaches without a stall, but the difference comes with the following side. For a barrel roll, we'd let the poi on the following side come up in front of the lead forearm. In this case, we're going to stall it up behind the lead forearm, between your forearm and your body. You're going to find if you attempt this that you get a split second to move through the trick before the momentum starts to fade. This is because with a poi leading on each side, each hand can only add momentum during half of the trick, and since the poi are in split time same direction, this happens at opposite sides of it. To me, this actually feels much more like stalling the poi for only a split second and then uncrossing my hands. I have never seen anybody able to sustain this trick for more than 2 or 3 repetitions. Like lovelysing, if you try to separate your hands in the middle of the trick and by some miracle the poi are still spinning, you will not find the poi tangled. Now here's another crazy thing about this trick. There are actually so few people that have explored it and so little done with it that it doesn't even have a name that I'm aware of. I just think of it as the third inversion. So, to review, we can create inversions by crossing our arms and poi in a buzzsaw plane, and we've got 3 options on how we can do it. We can do poi-led hand-led to get a barrel roll. You may have noticed I didn't talk about cases where the lead hand and poi are hand-led and the following hand and poi are poi-led, and that's because it also just results in another barrel roll. We can also do hand-led. This is referred to as Lovelysing, and it creates a really beautiful trick that's easy to sustain. Finally, we can also do poi-led. This is an unnamed trick that I just think of as the third inversion. It's difficult to perform, but a fun challenge. Play around with these inversions yourself and see how you can integrate them into your flow. It's pretty rare that I see people playing with inversions these days, and I think that's kind of a shame. So, see what rabbit holes these take you down. If you dug this video, please make sure to subscribe and ring that bell, because otherwise you might not know when I upload a new video. YouTube changes its algorithm constantly, and clicking that notification bell is actually the only way to guarantee that it'll show you my new videos when they get uploaded. And of course, a big thank you to all of my wonderful supporters on Patreon. They make this video and all the videos on my channel possible. If you'd like to support the work that I do, please head on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and sign up. Do you play around a lot with inversions? What are your favorite tricks in that space? Do you wish I'd given Rev's framework a little bit more love here? Let me know down in the comments. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also check out all the other videos on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourselves a good one. Peace.